All right, another day to run. So yesterday I had a rest day, and that felt really good because I'd gone out on a long run the day before, and my legs were tired. I kid you not, they were pretty tired, and I wasn't running all that fast of a pace. I was running what I thought was a pretty easy going pace, but by the time I got to the end, I'd had just about all I wanted to have. I probably went a little too far, a little too soon after the Chicago Marathon. You know, frankly, I had taken 5 days off, but to go out and do a long run, which was around 17 miles or so, that might have been a bit ambitious on my part. But knowing that I was going to have a day of rest in between then and today's going to be an easy run effort, sorta. So I will likely, I just know, getting into my own head, that I'm probably going to try to pick up the pace maybe a little bit faster than easy run just to see if I can do it, because, you know, being so difficult there towards the end of what should have been an easy long run and just 17 miles, it kind of shattered some of my confidence. Now, I think that it was just because my legs were just tired, period. You know, and I'm hopeful that that's all it was, and that, you know, a few more days, that they'll be in much better shape. And tomorrow I've got some speed work scheduled, so I have to keep that in mind as well, that tomorrow's going to be, you know, a much harder day. So I probably won't try to overdo it today, but, you know, I don't always follow the plan like I should. You know, I'm human, and sometimes I get out there and I get in my own head and I do things that probably are counterproductive. But we'll see. And I've got on the Adios Pro 3s today, the brand new pair, not my old pair, because I don't have that many miles in them. And if, you know, I'm thinking back about the first version, the first pair of the Adios Pro 3s that I got, they didn't really start feeling great to me until after I got about 40 or 50 miles in them, and I don't have that many in this pair. So I'm going to put a few more miles in them because these are definitely in contention to take to New York. As you know, I've got nearly 100 miles on the Alpha Fly version 1, and I'm questioning whether or not I want to take those out, especially given the terrain. Now, there's just a lot of hills, you know, right? So, bridges that you have to go up and down. And when I ran in the Alpha Flies in Boston, which is kind of net downhill, but there's a lot of hills, they didn't feel great to me going downhill. So I'm hoping that maybe the Adios Pro 3 might feel a little bit better, and they're newer, maybe have a little bit more bounce in them, but we'll see. You know, I'm going to take these out. I haven't ruled out running in the Alpha Fly, but I want to see, you know, what other options might be a good choice for me to take out there. The other day I ran in the Vaporfly 3. I might go back and run in the Vaporfly 2. I have a new pair of those as well, because I had jacked up the miles on my first pair. I love those shoes. Whether or not I want to take them out in New York or not remains to be seen. It's still definitely a possibility, because I ran my second fastest marathon in the Vaporfly 2s. So they're a good shoe. They're a good shoe. I'm just not sure that they're the right shoe for New York, but, you know, I will probably put some more miles in those as well in just the last few weeks here, just to see. All right, I'm going to take you guys with me. Oh, I am filming with the GoPro Hero mod on, and I know I talked about that before, that I'm not a big fan of the mod, and that's just because it's difficult to get it on and get it off, because, you know, in order to get to your battery, you have to take it completely out of the mod unit itself, and that also holds true if you want to get to your SD card when I'm going to process film and that kind of thing. But the reason I have it on today is because I am planning to take it to New York, primarily because it has to have a shotgun mic. So I'm thinking when I film in the Expo this time, maybe I can reduce some of that Expo noise that I picked up in Chicago, because I'm always trying to improve the quality of the videos for you guys. And it has the ability to add a light on the mod kit, because it has a cold shoe mounts both on the top and on the side. And, you know, and I want to be able to film a little bit when it gets dusk. And, you know, I tried filming a bit with my phone because it does do a little better job in low light conditions than the straight up GoPro Hero Black 11, which I have. But it was still a little jittery. You know, if you guys watched that footage, you probably noticed that it was just, you know, not not great. You know, it was okay. It was okay for those early morning hours when the sun hadn't come up yet. But I'm hoping to maybe get it a little better. And if I can do that by adding a light to my GoPro and using that instead, we'll see. I'm just kind of exploring, and like I said, I'm always trying to make these videos a little higher quality as I go along. And sometimes I make mistakes, and sometimes I get it right. So it's trial and error some days. All right, that's enough about all of that. I am going to go in because I got to grab my water bottle, things like that. It's it's only about, I think about maybe 50 minutes today, 40 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to go down, or 50 minutes to go down, something like that. Probably less than an hour today, just to kind of keep things moving and prepare for tomorrow's a bit harder workout. I honestly haven't decided if I'm going to do the speed work on my mountain bike or not, because I might do a bit of a hybrid because you know, I'm still coming off injury. You know, I would be much more comfortable if this were a few weeks, you know, like, you know, 8-9 weeks past the last marathon when I knew that my body was completely healed. So I don't want to push it, but we'll see. Again, that'll be a game day decision tomorrow. If I feel like I can do the speed work comfortably and safely, and knowing though that I do have a couple days of rest basically after tomorrow's speed work is done. So that also plays a factor too. So anyway, I guess we'll talk about that more tomorrow. All right, I'm going to go in and get my water bottle and things like that, and then I'm going to head out the door. She wants outside in the worst way. I'll have to let her out when I get back though. Yeah, I'm wearing some compression sleeves again today. And that's because it's cold. There's no other way to put it. It is cold today. It's in the 30s right now. They do say it's going to get up to 50, 55, but I'm not going to wait till this afternoon to get my run in. I usually like to knock these things out in the morning. Woo! Chilly, chilly. Do, 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 do. Threes are feeling pretty good today. Of course, this is my new pair, so they feel new. We got a lot of spring in their step, so this is definitely a contention for marathon day. All right, I'm about halfway through this one. It's 45 minutes, 10 minutes cool down, so you know, a little less than an hour altogether. Not bad out, really. It was cool to start, but you know, once you get into it, you know, it feels pretty good. I'm not overdressed, but I do feel comfortable. That's a nice house. I've been watching them build that throughout the summer. It looks nice, it turned out good. A few times, because it's got a pretty good incline. The incline itself would be the equivalent of what I'm going to find in New York. It's just not the distance. So it's a much shorter version. And well, I'm not trying to necessarily improve my overall fitness at this point. I do want to get accustomed to running downhill. Running uphill, that's a lot easier. Running downhill, running controlled, trying to maintain a decent pace, not going too fast, all that kind of good stuff. It's what I'm working on right now. Whew. You can tell running uphill, even at an easy pace, increases your effort. That's one thing that I pretty much decided is that I'm going to run by effort and feel in New York. You know, I may hook up with a pace group in the beginning, but if they're trying to run a solid, you know, even pace all the way around, I'm not going to stay with them. But if they're going to run by effort, you know, that might work out pretty well. And pacers all have different strategies. You know, some try to maintain an even pace through the whole thing, and others like me run by effort. So yeah, we'll see. Either way, I am gonna have a ton of fun in New York. That is for certain. Woo! So that one was in the books, 6.89 miles, 8:15 mile pace. So yeah, faster than an easy run should be, but you know what? I've yet to run a perfect training block, so this shouldn't be any different. Oh, I do have some mail. Oh, so I can grab that first here. Overall, you know, I really like the Adios Pro 3s. They weren't my favorite shoe when I first got them because, you know, I had some pain points up around, you know, the top of my foot. But since I learned how to lace them, you know what, I'm going to count that to user error, right? So, you know, I was so used to wearing the Nikes, you know, Alpha Flies and that kind of thing, that I have to cinch those down super tight, or my foot wants to slide to the end of the shoe, and, you know, I end up with a black toenail or something along those lines. And when I first got the Adios Pro 3s, I did the same thing, only I didn't need to do that, right? So once I learned to leave the front part of the laces, the first part of the lace enclosure system, snug and not cinch down, and then started cinching it down about halfway up the lace enclosure system, it was fine, you know, and I really enjoyed them. So, you know, they felt really good going downhill. And a big part of New York is going to be going downhill. For, you know, every upside of the bridge you got to climb, there's a downside. So right now I'm leaning towards the Adios Pro 3. I'm kind of talking myself into them. They felt pretty good today. I'll know a little bit more tomorrow how my ankle feels, because that's a big part of it too. My ankle felt fine, really. It didn't hurt any more, it didn't hurt any less after running the marathon. You know, I don't want to give the impression that I am, you know, 100% healed after, you know, running the Chicago Marathon. You know, it went really well, and, you know, I felt like I ran it about as healthy and happy and pain-free as I could. But the reality is, and I don't want to give people the wrong impression again, is that, you know, it didn't hurt any more and it didn't hurt any less after running the marathon than it did leading up to it. That doesn't mean that there isn't some discomfort there, because there is. So I need to still be mindful of that. And New York is going to be, you know, my last marathon for 2023. I've got a couple scheduled for 2024. I did throw my hat in the ring to try to get into Berlin. I don't know, you know, it's through the lottery. I won't know that till, I think it's December 6th, something along those lines. But I definitely will be in Boston, and I think I'm going to go in and register for Chicago right now. I think I'm going to do that. Even though Berlin and Chicago are really close together, you know, I can't count on being able to go to Berlin, and I would love to go back to Chicago. What a great experience that was, and a super fun marathon to run. Love that flat course. Oh my goodness. All right, you guys. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, you know, some of you guys do email me, and I appreciate that. Actually, quite a few of you guys email me at runtall2020@gmail.com. But if you want to send an audio or video file that I can include in one of these video vlogs or some other way on the channel, I'd be happy to do that as well. With that, you guys, I'm going to go in, and as always, I got to take a shower. Gosh, you know what? I'm really leaning towards the Adios Pro 3s. I'm really liking those shoes. You know, and the other day, okay, so I was about ready to cut this one off. I'll just share this with you real quick. So I had thought I wanted to pick up another pair of the Alpha Flies, the original version. They are nowhere to be found. I can't find them at Nike, anywhere. The only place I could find them was a little bit sketchy, and I was afraid that they weren't the real deal, that they were fake shoes, just because I wasn't familiar with the website, and the price was really cheap. So, you know, if it sounds to be too good to be true, it probably is, and I think that's the case there. So I don't think, I'm going to keep my eye out, but I don't think I'm ever going to be able to find the original Alpha Fly version 1. So I'm going to hold out till probably in January, late January, and keep my fingers crossed that maybe I can pick up the latest version of the Alpha Fly, the Alpha Fly 3, which has set some world records. So, man, wouldn't that be awesome? All right, you guys, with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, belly. I know. All right. All right, let's go out. I gotta take her out first.